beast! Ah!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Not the Bees, the Nicolas Cage Filmography Podcast. I'm Megs.
I'm Elizabeth.
And this week we watched City of Angels, 1998's City of Angels, starring, of course, Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan and Andre Braugher. It's got 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's about 2 hours long, and it is definitely about one of the 90th movies you could ever see. It starts out where the opening scene is a woman. She's praying to God because her daughter's very sick. She's got a really high fever. And that's how we get introduced to Nicolas Cage's character. His name is Seth. He's an angel of some sort. The little girl ends up dying. There's a really sweet exchange between the two of them at the hospital because mom can't come. She won't understand. And he goes, oh, she will one day. And I love how he asks her, what's your favorite thing? And she said, pajamas, just right in my heart. And then, cue the movie title, City of Angels. And then it's kind of strange, like the way that they start out walking around Los Angeles, because like all the angels are goths somehow. They're all in trench coats. They're all in all black. And we just see them like flit around. Basically, they just live in this city, and a lot of them like to hang out on rooftops. And then we meet Meg Ryan's character, who is a thoracic surgeon, and she loses a patient pretty much immediately at the beginning of the movie. And he's there when this happens because he's there. Seth is there to take the man away, and he is just immediately like enthralled by her, and she looks at him as though she can see him like he's a man. And it's really it's a cute way to start the movie, I think.
From there we go to the hallway and she's crying, and
in the stairwell
he tries to touch her, but of course he can't.
Yeah,
he can read her thoughts, and she's just thinking, what went wrong, I did everything right, what went wrong?
Right.
And
just blaming herself for everything.
He's desperately looking for a way to comfort her, and he simply can't because she can't even see him.
She can't see him. She can't hear him. And he can see and hear her, but he can't touch anything. He can't taste anything. He can't smell anything.
So here's the rules for angels in this movie.
According to
City of Angels, angels cannot feel. They have no sense of touch. And they all gather on the beach at sunset and sunrise because they can hear music in the sunset and the sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
They can travel at the speed of thought. They can read your mind. And they all live in a library.
Yeah. And they like to be up really, really high places.
Yes.
And from there, we see her go home, and she's got a sort of on-again, off-again boyfriend who's a surgeon as well. His name is Jordan. And, he's trying to be there for her, and she doesn't want him there. She's like, I don't sleep whether you're there or not, because he thinks coming over and being there will help her. And that doesn't really seem to be what's going to happen for her. And she comes back the next time that she goes to work, and they've canceled one of her surgeries to give her a break. And they tell her, this part doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, because Jordan is the one that has to give the information to her.
I think it was just a way to introduce him, to have him give that information.
I mean, it might have been, but like they say that, you're sick. You need to take some time off. And then she's like, well, no, I'm crazy. I'm chemically imbalanced. So like, what is wrong with her? Like, I think like she's just grieving. It's just an odd scene. But then, yeah, she goes and she takes some time and she meets Seth.
So she is going to check on Mr. Messenger, and she runs into Seth. Seth lets himself be seen and heard, and they have this beautiful little conversation where she opens up and she's like, I lost a patient. And he's telling her it's not your fault. And she's like, but it is my job to keep them alive. And he's like,
Right.
it's not your fault. And she goes, well, you should get out of here, Seth, because security's going to think you're a psych patient. And she turns around and he's gone.
Yeah. And somehow he knew her name. When she asked how, he pointed to her name tag, but then she goes back to the locker rooms and she takes her name tag off, and it just has her first initial. It doesn't actually say Maggie or Margaret or whatever her proper name would be.
Yep.
So, yeah. So then the following day, she goes back in, and she does the surgery on Mr. Messenger, and it's good. It's great. She has a great time performing it. She sings the Band-Aid song.
On Band-Aid, because Band-Aid stuck on me.
It's hilarious. I love that she did it. Actually, she's really good at playing the surgeon in this movie. Like, I feel like she's...
Meg Ryan's a delight.
Oh, she's always a delight. But, like, I feel like she's probably one of the closest representations of, like, actual people that work in hospitals.
Also, I want her hair.
Oh, always.
I want her hair desperately.
But, like, she's very empathetic, but she's also very, like, standoffish with people in her personal life. Like, she cares more about her patients and her job than she cares about anyone else. She's like, this is what I worry over all of the time. So she's, of course, yes, a delight. So once Messenger's surgery is finished, she goes and has a nice lunch. She runs into Seth again at the library, and they end up walking around, and they go and get lunch together, and they're talking about...
this is one of my favorite lines. One of my favorite lines ever is when they're sitting there and she's eating the pear, and he says, can you tell me what that tastes like? Describe it like Hemingway would. And she's like, you've never had a pear? You don't know what a pear tastes like? And he says, I don't know what a pear tastes like to you.
Yeah.
Oh, flutter my heart.
Cute.
Flutter my heart.
So yeah, so they have a nice little lunch, and then they go back to the hospital, and she takes him to the laboratory and shows him in a microscope what blood looks like. She's like, that's me, those cells, that's what makes up me. And he looks in, he said, oh, so that's you. And she goes, yep, and all the space in between. And then wants to go and take his blood, and he's like, no, that's not possible. That's absolutely not possible. She's trying to talk him into it, and she gets a beep on her beeper. Oh man, beepers. And has to run real quick to go check on Mr. Messenger, because I guess he's choking on his tube to help him breathe. And like, he's fine. They check on him. She goes back and he's gone. Again, classic Seth. And then he comes back that night and hangs out with Messenger. And Messenger
says, I can't see you, but I know you're there.
I know you're there.
And this intrigues Seth. So he goes back, and Messenger turns the TV off and kind of lays back like he's going to go to sleep. And Seth's like, how do you know when I'm here? And this sparks probably my favorite scene in the entire movie, where we cut to the next scene and they're in a diner. Messenger's still wearing his hospital gown, and they are in a diner, and he's
ordered everything on the menu.
Yeah, he's got three different plates of food in front of him, smoking a cigarette, because you could still smoke in restaurants in 1998. And he starts to tell Seth that God gave humans free will. Do you think he didn't give it to us too? You can choose to fall to earth and be a mortal being. And Seth is like, no.
Surely not. No.
Surely you jest. And Nathan explains that he used to be a celestial. And he one day got up the courage to fall and has been living as a human ever since. And that there are more of us than you'll know. We don't really talk to each other. I'm sure they don't have they should get a book club together or something. And this idea greatly intrigues Seth. You can already see in the few interactions he's had with Maggie that he's really falling for her.
Yeah.
And this idea that he could possibly fall and be with her is really intriguing to him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Maggie's at home and she walks in and her sometimes boyfriend, sometimes not, Jordan, is there. He's packed a bag for her. And he's like, where have you been? And she says, one of the visitors for one of my patients, I just kind of ran into him and, I was talking to him and then he just kind of disappeared. Why did you pack my backpack? He's like, we should go to Tahoe. Your uncle has that cabin. We could take a couple of days and just, be together. And they have this really cute interaction with each other where she's like, we can't even just be in the same room together. Like, we can't just be together. He's like, what should I do? And she's like, just look at me. And it takes 2 minutes before they start bursting into laughter and, make their way to the bedroom. Very cute. And the whole time Seth is seeing it. So, like, your heart breaks.
Yeah.
Your heart breaks a little bit, but still super cute. And the following day, she's out at the park and he goes to see her and he meets the dog.
Seth.
And
Seth goes to see her.
Yeah, Seth goes to see her while she's at the park with the dog. And the dog runs over to him immediately and she goes, oh, this is Earl. And he goes, I know, he told me. And they have this
What else does he tell you?
Right? Yeah, apparently, like, he's worried that she doesn't sleep enough. And what was the other thing? Thinks that she's sad or something.
I don't remember what the other thing was.
Yeah, but definitely worried that she doesn't sleep enough. And they have this really cute exchange, Seth and Maggie, and it's become clear to her that there is something about him that is different. And she knows she still wants to see him, though. And Messenger is having a barbecue, and I guess for some reason he's invited her.
Before we jump to the party, they kiss in the park.
Right.
And she steps back and says, do you feel that? And he just doesn't answer because of course he doesn't. He doesn't feel anything. Yeah. He's an angel. And then she's like, I'll see you around, and leaves. And then the next thing is that they're at the party for Nathan.
Yeah.
And Seth is being real cagey about where he's from, what his last name is, what he does for a living. They end up back at her house that night.
Well, there's an interesting scene before that while he's sitting there and trying to dodge everything because Nathan's granddaughter is there, one of his granddaughters. And she's pushing at him and asking him really interesting questions like, can you hear it? I'm growing. Like, she pokes his face and she goes, you're just like my granddad. Like, I have to wonder, like, are Nathan's children not all human?
Well,
his grandchildren?
We're not getting into that part of the lore.
I mean, it's just interesting. Anyway, so yeah, we end up back at her house after a barbecue, and she pulls out tomatoes and lettuce from her fridge for some reason and asks him to chop the lettuce.
And he cuts his thumb off.
Completely cuts his thumb off. And it's not like she didn't see it. It was in full view.
She absolutely saw the knife go completely through his thumb.
And he just committed to it, like, watched her the whole time, just slowly drag that knife through. Commitment. Jesus.
The knife goes completely through his thumb. There's no blood. There's nothing. Because he's an angel. He doesn't bleed. And she's not sure what she just saw. So she grabs his hand and slices it.
Right. Like you do. Like any sane woman on this planet would do.
And then demands to see his hand. And when she sees it, there's no blood, there's no cut, there's no nothing. And she's finally starting to gather what's going on. And he explains to her as much as he can. And she tells him to get out. And he does.
And he does. Just disappears. And the next thing that we see, she's missing him.
Like
she has a day. Yeah, like you do. She has a day. She goes to the library. She goes home. He won't talk to her. She goes to bed. He still won't, like, make himself seen. But she asks him to stay. Just until she falls asleep. And she did. She fell asleep and she slept through the night. And it's the first time that we've seen, I think at this point we've seen like 3 or 4 times, scenes of her in her bedroom where she's just waking up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every night.
Yeah. And this
And
is the
it's
first night she sleeps through.
Yeah, and she ends up having an epiphany. One of her friends at the hospital is someone that works in the maternity ward. She works with the babies, and there's a baby that's been having issues, and she wakes up from this full night's rest and has an epiphany about what's wrong with the baby, and it's because the baby's not sleeping because there's something wrong with the sinuses. Like, amazing, right? It's almost a miracle.
And then we show her in the locker room. Jordan comes in and proposes.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And then he's like, we should go to Tahoe because your uncle has that cabin on the Nevada side. And, we could go get married, then we could like honeymoon at the cabin or whatever. Like, least romantic proposal.
Yeah. And then he
ever.
ends it with just think about it and leaves.
Right.
Here. She goes to see Messenger again. And she's checking on his heart. And she just tells him, I don't understand why God would let us meet if we can never be together. And Messenger then informs her that Seth could choose to fall. He loves you enough that he would do it. And she's kind of stunned by this. And we cut to the next scene, which is her at the library, and she's whispering for Seth. Seth, are you here? I really need to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
And he appears, and she tells him, I'm going to marry Jordan. We're the same, me and Jordan. And I'm going to marry him, and I don't want to see you again. And she leaves.
Yep.
And Seth is heartbroken.
Absolutely destroyed.
And the next thing we know, he's up on top of a construction site of a skyscraper, and he chooses to fall.
And you follow him down the entire way, and he has flashes of his memories of her, and I'm assuming other lives that he's seen that stirred something within him. And yeah, then the next morning, the scene where he wakes up is,
he wakes up, and in a blink and you'll miss it cameo, there's Nick Offerman standing there as a construction worker.
Yeah.
With no mustache. So
with
he's
no mustache.
Baby-faced Nick Offerman. And all of these construction workers are making fun of him, like, man, you can't sleep here. What are you doing? And he's like looking at his hand, which is bleeding, and he's like, is this blood? Is this blood? And he's excited and he's happy. And he kind of trapezes his way through the city, making his way over to the county hospital, where he runs into her friend Anne. And
from the maternity ward. Yeah.
From the maternity ward. And Anne kind of starts bandaging him up, and he's asking her, like, please tell me where Maggie is. I'm in love with her. And so she tells him she went to Tahoe, and next thing you know, our man is trying to hitchhike to Tahoe.
Mm-hmm. And, well, at first he tries to get on the bus, which he realizes he doesn't have money for. And then he goes to try to hitchhike. The first venture of that does not go well. He ends up getting mugged. What a horrible way to experience life as, first day as a human on the planet. They steal his shoes. And then a really nice trucker picks him up and takes him all the way to very close to Tahoe. And then we see that scene where he's dropped off and he's like, where do I go from here? And there's a phone book. Good old phone books and phone booths. And then we just see him show up at her cabin in the middle of the night, drenched to the bone. It's so cold outside that, like, steam is coming off of him. Bloody mess. She takes him in. Yeah, shoeless, bloody, drowned rat mess. And she takes him in and puts him in front of the fire, cleans him up. And she sees that he has, like, scabs. He has actual injuries. And he's bleeding for a change.
And she realizes what this means.
Yep, that he fell for her.
So he wakes up and they do it.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning, they're sitting looking out at the lake. And she says, when it's my time to go and they ask me what my favorite thing about Earth was, I'm going to say you. You were my favorite thing about Earth.
That's what he said to her while they're sitting on the dock.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. And then he goes in to take a shower.
And she's making a fruit salad and decides she needs pears.
Obviously.
Right. So she goes to the store and she's riding her bike back from the store.
And I don't remember. I feel like I learned this like years ago, whether or not she ran into the truck or if the truck skidded and the back end like hit her. I can't remember, but yeah. So anyways, there's an accident involving a truck carrying logs.
A logging truck. Goddamn
A logging truck.
trucks. Mm.
Yep. Yeah. Millennials will understand the fear. They'll understand it. So anyways,
Seth has a sense, he has a feeling in the pit of his stomach, and he goes running out and he finds her in the street. The truck driver's already gone for help.
Yep.
And he stays with her and he holds her hand and he holds her and she fucking dies.
She fucking dies. And as she's dying, you know, at first she's like, no, please stay with me. The driver's already gone. And then immediately she calms down. She goes, there's someone out there. And he's like, don't look at them. Look right at me. And she's like, is this what happens? And he can't lie to her. He has to tell her, like, yes, this is what happens. And she's not afraid anymore. And it was honestly, yeah, that was fucking heartbreaking. And then he's like, what do I do from here? Where do I go? What do I do?
He goes to the funeral. He goes and sits with Nathan Messenger. He's sitting in her apartment. He has a conversation with his good friend
Cassiel, played by Andre Braugher,
and says that I would rather have had one touch of her hand than an eternity without it.
Yeah. Deep.
And that's the end of our movie.
Yeah.
So I saw this movie when it first came out. I love this movie. And I've always told people I love this movie, but it's not a good movie. But you know what? It's better than I remembered it as being.
It's not a terrible movie.
It's not.
It's really not a terrible movie. It's just very slow. It's a very gentle drama. Like, it's not, there's like, it's very reserved. It's very, I don't know, grown up.
I do have a major problem with this movie.
Oh, please tell. Please tell.
I hate that they kill Meg Ryan.
Oh, I fucking hate that they kill Meg Ryan, too.
It robs us of the beauty of a happily ever after. And I can see why they chose to do it that way.
I can't why. Fucking why. Fucking why. Messenger fell, had a wife, children, grandchildren, survived a bypass. Why not Seth? Why can't Seth have, like, 5 uninterrupted years? You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to teach him that lesson, and if it needs to happen sooner than it happened to Messenger, okay, fine, but, like, don't make it 24 fucking hours.
It's not a lesson.
I know it's not a lesson.
Castiel specifically tells him.
Wrong universe. That's Supernatural. It's Castiel. There's no T.
Castiel. Same thing.
Swear to God, I think that's where they got it from.
Cass tells him,
yeah,
you know better than that. This isn't a test. You know better than that. This is life. You get what you get.
Yeah, it's still bullshit, though. I didn't need to learn that lesson from this movie. I could have learned that anywhere else. From any innumerable amount of movies. Like,
I like these characters so much that I want them to have the happy ending. And that's why I don't like that she gets run over by a logging truck.
For sure. Yeah. That is absolute bullshit. And because you want it to be a happily ever after. You want to see something happen that's good.
Yeah.
Like, what a waste. And it's 2 hours long. And in 1998, that was a long fucking movie.
Yes. In 1998, that was a long fucking
movie.
And it takes him an hour and 20 minutes before he falls.
Right. Right. So, like, the shit that you really want to see only happens within, like, the 30 minutes. Or at least, like, the urgent part of it. But
right.
I actually really like how slow this movie progresses for the most part. Because it gives us an opportunity to see the personality in the characters. We don't have a whole lot of characters that we have to choose from. So there's not a whole lot of, like, bouncing back and forth. Like, we've got, I think, maybe 6 characters total that we really interact with. And it's, again, his body work is insane.
Yeah.
Like,
this movie is done with a lot of close-ups to the eyes. And it works really well. A lot of really good eye acting in this movie.
Yes. There was also a lot of consideration for how an angel would act.
I remember reading an article because, like I said, I saw this when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading an article in a movie magazine where Nicolas Cage was like, "Well, he's an angel," and I just thought that angels shouldn't blink, so I did my best to not blink throughout this movie, and I thought that was fucking ridiculous. And then I was watching this movie this time, and I was like, "Holy shit, motherfucker does not blink."
No, he doesn't. And it's, I don't know, it's just the curiosity that he has about things, the way that he handles delicate situations. He's very gentle through this whole movie, which
Yes,
is kind of a departure actually from what we normally see him as.
yes.
And it's very good. I think it's very good. I enjoy everyone's performance in this movie. It's really very enjoyable. It's a very cute movie.
I love Andre Braugher. I've loved him in everything I've ever seen him in, and this is no exception.
Literally. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. I will also say that bad green screening
Yes.
a couple of times that kind of really bothered me. Right at the beginning, right after we see the title, it's him and Cassiel sitting on a beam somewhere, or no, they're sitting on a bridge. They're sitting on an overpass, I think.
No,
And
they're
they're
sitting on a sign.
Oh, it is a sign. It is a sign. You're right. And they're just sitting there in big bright sunlight, and like you can completely tell that it's just a green screen. And I mean, part of you is just like, oh, 1998, but part of you is also like, wait, didn't some stuff was a lot better than that? And then the other scene, the last scene where they're sitting on
On the
another sign,
cowboy.
but it's at night. It's a fucking Marlboro Man and his hat, and it is the
Yeah.
most hilarious fucking thing to me. I love it. I love it. I love it when they are in the convenience store, Seth and Cassiel, and they're in the middle of there's a robbery going on. And I love how, like, you don't really understand the designation of the angel. The angels are they are universal agents. They're there to pick you up when you die. They are there to intervene in situations to prevent more death than is necessary, so on and so forth. They can touch you and calm you, whatever. And they don't stop the robbery, but they calm everyone so no one loses their lives. Little things like that. It's an interesting take on the angel archetype. They're not all powerful. They have incredible limitations. I feel like most of the time when we see angels depicted in film and TV, they're these beautiful, ethereal, untouchably perfect, like, specimens. Whereas that's not, like, angels in this movie are very functional beings. They're not just there to, like, smite and carry out wrath, you know what I mean?
Right.
But they are also definitely very 90s goth kids that hang out at Denny's at 3 o'clock in the morning.
My favorite thing is that they live at the library.
My favorite thing is that they live at the library, and that every time we transition to the point where we see, like, the tops of roof buildings, there's always, like, 3 of them gathered walking
Yes.
somewhere. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
So what would we rate this movie?
So I think I'm trying to rate it, like, objectively, because this movie has such a wonderful. We didn't even talk about the soundtrack. Like,
Oh my god, it's
the
so
fucking
90s.
soundtrack.
It's so 90s. You've got Sarah McLachlan, you got the Goo Goo Dolls, you got a lot of Morissette on there. It's a banger.
It's yeah. The soundtrack to this movie is a lot of fun. It's a lot of the stuff is very on the nose as well, but like the song that's playing when she's in the bath, I don't even know what song that is, but it's very on the nose for, like, what's going on right there. I can't remember the words to it. But there's definitely, like, she's clearly having, like, some kind of, like, self-love session, or having some kind of, like, question about it. Like, she's got, like, the cold beer and she's, like, holding it to her face, and her, like, legs are, like, up, covered in bubbles. It's not a bad scene. It's actually not a bad scene. And he has, like, a very tortured look about himself because he can't participate. He's like, God damn it. Anyways, for the rating, let's see.
No, it only has a 58% on the tomato meter, but it has an 82% audience score.
Yeah. I mean, I always believe the audience more than I believe the tomato meter anyways.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely side with the audience on this one.
yeah, for sure. I think that I would probably give it somewhere around a B as far as how good of a movie it is. I think the reason that it has a 58 maybe on the tomato meter is because they killed her at the end, and I'm super not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I'm still super not a fan of that. But I would give it a B.
What would we give the Nick Caginess of it?
What would you give it?
As an overall film, I think a B is fine.
No, Nick Cage, what would you say? Because I'm going back and forth between an A and a B.
I would say this is a solid B effort from Nick Cage. I think you know what, I would say B plus, A minus, actually, because he's serving a quietude that is not found in a lot of Nick Cage characters.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays it with such childlike wonder.
That's what it is. That part, yes.
So I would say an A minus.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. He does not desecrate a church in this one.
He does not. In fact, nary is there a church to be seen in this entire movie.
Even though it's a highly, we're dealing with religious archetypes here.
We are, and it's an interesting take that we're dealing with those kinds of things. But I suppose it's because it's not really very much about religion. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's more of an idea that God is just something that is inherent. That blah blah blah. But it's really cute. It's really cute. I enjoyed it, and I would definitely give him an A minus. Give the movie a B. I'd also give Meg Ryan an A for her fucking hair.
Yeah. I love her hair in this.
Her hair alone, yes.
I give the soundtrack an A+.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's it for us this week. Listener, if you're enjoying what we're doing and you want to support us, again, as always, you can find us on patreon.com/notthebees. You can also follow us on Instagram at notthebeespod. Every week, we post some slides from the film that we're watching and the synopsis that we get from either IMDB or Rotten Tomatoes or Google. And we'd love it if you follow along. So, yeah. Until then.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week.